This is Lulu. Lulu is her God-given name, although she tells everyone that it's short for something else. Whenever someone asks what it's short for, however, she says it's a secret. She is of indeterminate height or hair color, as her height varies daily and her hair color monthly. Her favorite sight is the sunshine on brick buildings in front of a bright blue sky. Her favorite sounds are the clicking of a kitchen timer and genuine laughter. Her favorite smell is the vintage perfume gifted to her by her aunt. She wouldn't have picked it out for herself, but her aunt said the scent made her think of Lulu. Her favorite feeling is cold running water dancing across her skin. Her favorite flavor of anything is artificial watermelon, especially watermelon-flavored blow pops. She tried real watermelon once. It didn't live up to her expectations and returned to the sickeningly sweet suckers. Her favorite things to do are memorize the lines of her favorite movies.
Why, you pompous windbag.
Take on new hobbies, and drive. One day, when Lulu was first learning to drive, her father was so stressed that his yell from the passenger seat made her drive straight through the garage wall.
Lulu!
Lulu was not allowed to drive after that. However, every Wednesday afternoon at precisely 3:55 p.m., when her mother is in bed and her father is having his after-work meeting, she takes her mother's keys and goes for a 24-minute drive. Those 24 minutes of pure solitude, of the wind and the sun, of music so loud she feels it in the back of her throat. Those 24 minutes make her feel whole. Lulu hates the feeling of running your fingers on cardboard, the word fleshy, children crying in public, when strangers try to hug her, the smell of alcohol, and the fact that she's not allowed to drive. Lulu has a small collection of objects that she's borrowed from people and forgotten to give back. She plans to return them someday, but in the meantime, every time she looks at them, she's filled with overwhelming guilt. Despite being old enough to vote, Lulu is terrified of the dark, especially when accompanied by thunderstorms. In order to make herself feel better, she likes to make shadow puppets and has studied many different techniques in order to create whatever she wants. Lulu cries exclusively at night. But by the next morning, no one is ever able to tell. When Lulu was in the 4th grade, she read a book about fairies and was convinced that she was an oversized sprite born in a Lulu-sized tulip. She spent most of that year drawing fairies, hoping that if the fairies saw them, they would visit and tell her that she was their long-lost bumblebee wrangler and take her back home. She was sure that fairy dust ran through her veins. Lulu knows many people at school, and many people say they know her, but no one can seem to agree on a description of what she's like. They all are positive that their perception is correct. Growing up, Lulu has had a number of boys show interest in her, but still has never had a boyfriend. Lulu is not from a family where the word love is thrown around lightly, so the fact someone could say they loved her without being 100% sure is excruciatingly off-putting. At precisely 17 minutes and 51 seconds of one of her secret 24-minute afternoon drives, Lulu noticed a billboard that wasn't there the week before. And for the first time, Lulu took the sucker out of her mouth and threw it away before she got to the bubblegum center. This is Lulu. Lulu is her God-given name, and she did not know she was going to die. Exactly 9 days ago, Lulu went on her weekly Wednesday drive. But this time, the scent of the wind was so inviting, the sun was warming her face so nicely, and her music was singing so sweetly that today she needed 27 minutes to feel whole again. When she got back, Lulu was confronted with the look on her father's face that is so intrinsically tied to the smell of whiskey. He brought out a big cardboard box and took away her books, her paints, her tools, her movies. When he took the keys from her, he simply put them back in the bowl by the door, right where she could see them and think about what she did. All the shouting made Lulu dizzy, and she knew she had to leave. Never before had Lulu wished for the sun to go down, but once the house was silent and stagnant, she abandoned her room. The one thing she took with her was the bottle of potent perfume she wore even though it made her eyes water. Lulu borrowed her mother's car keys as she's done so many times before, but with no intention of returning them. She felt no guilt. She left the house at 1:53 a.m. with no determined destination, but in her mind she saw a place where brick glowed with warmth against a cool sky, where a genuine laugh was freely given, not something needing to be captured, and where a small creek could chill her skin and give her goosebumps. All the while, the air in the car was thick with the sticky scent of perfume. Unfortunately for Lulu, nighttime was exclusively for crying, not for driving. And you can't make shadow puppets during a thunderstorm when your hands are at 10 and 2. This is Lulu, and Lulu is her God-given name.